Welcome back. Parents of women who were lured to Durban from Johannesburg after being promised jobs say they've been prevented from seeing their children. The women, aged 19 and 27, were kept in a house in Durban North and were informed they'd be involved in a sex trade. They were rescued last week and are currently receiving counselling. Let's get more from our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli, who's live for us in Durban. So I'm interested in the details here. Tell us exactly how these young women were enticed to actually go from Johannesburg to Durban.
Well, Shahan, it's a very interesting story. So the women have shared how they were lured from Johannesburg to Durban on a promise of new job opportunities here in the city. So the women have shared that one gentleman had approached one of the women and promised her of a job here in Durban, a lucrative job. And she was then convinced that she needed to convince more people to join in and apply for these jobs. The men that had lured her to Durban even met with her mother, and following this they felt that this job was a good job for her, and she went ahead and convinced some other women as well to join in, and they applied for this job and they got the job opportunity. They were then taken from Johannesburg to Durban. They took a bus that was paid for by this employer, and when they arrived here, 5 of them, one of the women just didn't feel right about the job and she left. And there were 4 remaining ones, and they were then taken to Durban North, to a mansion there, a very affluent area here in Durban. And they were then there told that they will be involved in a sex trade business. But the promise, of course, was that they were going to be working for a call center here in Durban. But of course, that was false, and they were then told there that they can't leave the mansion and they will be joining the sex trade business. So following this, luckily, one of the women had a cell phone with her, and she then tried to make contact with someone from the outside, and this information traveled through, and it was then filtered to the police, where the police commissioner here in the province also got a hold of this news, and then he then tried to get people to react, and the police then rescued the young women on Wednesday. So we first heard of this news last week on Wednesday when they were rescued from that mansion, and after that they were then taken to a place of safety.
So this is also quite concerning, because some of the parents are now saying that they've been prevented from talking to their children and taking them home. Tell us why.
So the parents, some of them are saying that they haven't been able to speak to them since last week, since they were rescued, and they are now demanding for the release of these women. But of course, it is a tricky situation, because at the moment they are kept at a safe area. We actually had a chance to speak to the Department of Social Development in the province, and I asked them why have the families been prevented from seeing their loved ones. And the response that I got from the spokesperson was that so far they are in the process of verifying information as to whether these are actual family members, and of course, because this is a delicate case, no one has been arrested for this, and because of that the woman's safety is a priority, and unfortunately they cannot disclose where they are being kept, and they cannot see them for now until that verification process is done. I spoke to the spokesperson Mhlaba Memela a bit earlier on, and this is what he had to say.
No, I can confirm that the children that were rescued by the law enforcement agencies are safe in the place where they are kept by the department together with the police. They are very safe. What has happened is that one of those children was then taken by some family members yesterday, and we are left with 3. And we are hoping that after the whole process of verification of the families then is completed, then they will be able to return back to their, or being reunited with their families. It's a very delicate case that we would like to urge our communities not to be interfering with the investigations, as we've seen some people that have gone to that place of safe and try to say they want to see these children. We cannot allow that, and because if we do so, we'll be actually exposing these children to these perpetrators, and it also put the life of other victims at risk, because such kinds of houses, they are not supposed to be known by communities.
So you mentioned that no arrests have been made, but any leads? What are police saying?
Well, I spoke to the Hawks because they are investigating this matter, and they're saying no arrests have been made, but there are 8 suspects that have been identified so far, and they're working on those leads. While speaking to the Hawks spokesperson earlier on, this is what he had to say.
We can confirm that we are currently investigating a case of human trafficking, where about 5 women aged between 19 and 27 were reportedly recruited from Johannesburg to KZN with high-paying job offers under the call center environment. They were reportedly going to be calling elite clients, as it was put. But upon arrival, they soon realized that they've been recruited into a sex trade industry. One of the girls managed to raise the alarm from the house in Durban North, and the police duly attended to the scene and rescued all 4 victims.
It's a very interesting story. We're going to leave it right there. Lethiwe Mdluli is in Durban.